we've never had this before. So how on earth is it supposed to report on it?
Let me just set up this.
Complaint instead. Built that. Yep.
Sweet. That's recording.
Complete.
What's this? Trevor? No. Well, how do I get the link?
It's great. Woo! I was excited. Get excited again.
I'll get the link now. Yeah, I don't know how to get the link down. It's a fail.
Scroll down where it says share at the bottom. See the little arrow?
Oh, yeah, sorry, oh, wait there. Can I do it directly to...
Yeah, you can do it to Facebook.
Where's LinkedIn? There it is.
There you know.
Oh, sweet.
Onboarding will work.
Maybe.
No, it is.
LinkedIn.
If you say it expired on the 3rd of March, you expired on June. It's even expired the 5th of June.
It's a great little thumbnail you've got there, Dan.
Yeah.
So that's it. And then next sprint, we're going to add a few more things. So you can see we've got you can see how many people are going to the event. When there's a wait list.
These bunch of questions.
Be able to toggle by location, by what's going to happen in the future. And then we're also going to start investigating how to support multiple languages.
I don't have Twitter. How do I know if anyone's joined?
So on the top chat on the right, it'll show you anybody that's there. I don't want to leave a message, but also there's a thingy underneath that shows you viewers, I believe.
Oh, there.
No, that's comments.
Okay.
Oh.
If you pull the window down, you should have stats going on. Oh, in fact, there's you see top left, likes and people.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Now we
on
wait.
to the big squad. It's been interesting, I think, with the mobile phone than this one. But we've had quite a lot.
I just hope I don't get a load of people from
But
Facebook.
obviously,
You probably will.
Got a few things I haven't done to now.
Has it come up on Facebook?
I said.
But like with the web fixes, like how screen recorders are broken.
You should have your Facebook on the other page so you can see comments there.
And Chrome. So
What do you mean?
So wherever your link is on Facebook now,
Oh, but,
there'll be messages that appear under that link.
oh, well,
we had an issue with the manager's dashboard UI, and it had
Or if you go to your profile,
the assessment status.
there you go now. No, there you go. You can see live comments as you can on Facebook as well.
oh, I can do that with LinkedIn.
And then we've also got a few other things where like
But at the moment, I'm at a massive 0 people. It was a good idea, poorly executed.
How many subscribers have you got on YouTube?
At 15,
Like
LinkedIn.
none.
so
Oh, LinkedIn.
so it's been getting through a lot of tech debt.
Yeah, I have a page for LinkedIn as well.
Mostly like trying to do all of that stuff, which I think is good. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think I have very many. No, that's terrible.
So let's
Try it on mine.
We had this issue where when you went to someone's profile, it would show random pieces of content. It would show like someone else's profile.
Yeah, go on my LinkedIn and reshare it.
Bringing all of these like product photos and stuff if you were looking at that. And then also we had this issue
feel like you're
where
not delivering
if you did a formal assessment,
great content here, they're live.
Huh?
I feel like you're not delivering great content here live.
There's no one here.
Yeah, but when people watch it back,
and then also
it also records it. So
Touche.
you're chatting
message
bollocks.
messages.
Okay.
So when you actually shared a message with someone,
So I should literally just start talking.
I think you should. Just who you are, what your role is, all that kind of jazz. Because this is what you'd be doing in live streaming. So you're going to pretend.
So, I'm Dan. I work for Fusion Universal. I'm currently very under the weather. But today I kind of wanted to just open a forum to talk about VR, potential VR solutions in an own environment. Apologies for the round of applause in the background. A little bit of sprint going on. So yeah, basically I've just set up this forum, shared it on a few social media platforms, hoping to get some good questions and generate some good ideas and forward thinking in regards to using VR for learning. I know I certainly have my thoughts around it, like things like compliance-based stuff. So when you think about like fire safety and hazard, and you see a lot of these actual virtual worlds, So the way that we're doing it at the moment is more in line with sort of like onboarding processes. So we have a lot of customer clients who basically and obviously need to onboard people just like anyone in a job. And some of our clients now, what they do through our learning app, through Fuse's learning app, they actually send out a VR headset to their new employees, and they have a learning plan already preloaded, and one of which would be a virtual reality onboarding sort of piece of content where they'll get to meet key stakeholders within the business, and we found that this, or they found rather, that this is a really engaging way for people to sort of start their job without actually physically starting their job, if that makes sense. So it kind of just breaks down those initial barriers. So yeah, as I said, I'm just literally looking for some questions and generate some chat. Darren, you might want to do that.
The primary SLA is the primary KPI we're shooting for is to get back into SLA. P3, that's SLA P3, which is medium priority on Jira, resolved within SLA in 30 days by the end of October.
So I guess if I could give you a little bit of background about the hardware and software we're using in-house, we use the Insta360 Pro as our 360 camera and the software that comes along with that. So I did a little bit of a demonstration to one of our customers yesterday actually, and it went really well. So I basically showcased a little bit about what the kit can do, again, some of the applications that we're hoping to use it for, and some of the applications that we've already used it for existing clients. And yeah, I just felt that piece of hardware itself was like a really good starting point. Going back to sort of when VR first kicked off, and when I first started looking at it inside of my work, and the Nokia Ozo had just came out, and that was retailing at £40,000, so it was massive, production, and it was just a little bit too much for it to be consumer grade, and it only took a year really for it to reduce so vastly by like 90%. So the Insta360 is retailing at about £4,000, which I think is perfect, because after you create a few videos and a few experiences with the tool, then it is paid for itself and more. Excuse me.
Are we going to have one more showcase before we have members of our team lead?
Oh, so I've just got a comment on my LinkedIn from Darren. So the difference between 360 and VR. So that's a really common question. So the difference between 360 and VR is essentially the way that you consume the content itself. So VR is, as it states, is virtual reality. It's something that you're immersed in, and you feel part of a world that isn't the world that surrounds you at that point in real time. 360 video is where you consume it more on a desktop, where you can obviously just spin the video around and have a 360 view of something. So think of things like Google Street View is more in line with 360 content. Another sort of thing that people sort of think is that VR is literally virtual worlds, where it would mean animated worlds. But as I said, that's not necessarily the case. We can create 3D 360 videos with the Insta360 Pro, and that gives the feeling of being immersed in that sort of environment that we're capturing live there. And again, lots of good tools that you can do. It can live stream like we're live streaming now. I probably should have live streamed in 360 thinking about it now. But it is a great tool. And I'm looking forward to when they bring out sort of more. So I haven't really done too much research since we have had that hardware in-house. But yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to the future and what it holds.
Hey, welcome back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm right.
Ciao.
It's a shame to have a good holiday, right?
So obviously, if people are watching right now, then obviously feel free to still leave comments below and share this on your social media streams. It'd be great to get some insight after I've stopped recording. And yeah, I'll be checking this link and checking this video and see if it does get any traction, because I certainly would, even if not now, later point, be interested in having conversations with other people, other like-minded content creators like myself, but also companies who are maybe know the basics of VR 360 and looking to sort of expand their knowledge, and hopefully I can shine some light, and this can sort of become a bit of a collaborative hub where we can sort of just share knowledge and share ideas and all work together happily.
You'll find it eventually, Anna, whatever you're looking for.
I dream a dream. I mean, you can make kites.
Okay.
Well, in terms of fun stuff.
You must have got something branded next time.
Well, that's it. I was trying to make one for a little kind of bulky. We don't really have anything. It'll be fine. It looks like.
Where do I see VR in 5
He's a
years?
lucky man.
So, where do I see VR in 5 years? I think VR in 5 years will obviously be further on than it is now. That obviously just makes complete sense. But I honestly say I can't actually make a prediction for it, because it is one of those things. Again, I've been to quite a lot of VR talks, and someone described it as it's like the internet back when people didn't know what the internet was going to be used for, other than communication. And I've had talks and used the Oculus Go in environments where it is being used for sort of social talks and social interactions. Obviously virtual social interactions, but yeah, it's still at that stage where people don't actually know what it's going to be used for yet. So 5 years probably isn't enough time for it to have an actual use case or a noticeable solid use case, or a single use case. So yeah, I honestly wouldn't be able to predict 5 years time. 10, 15 years maybe, it'll probably start to have more of a potential sort of day-to-day use, but I honestly have no idea. There are so many applications, and again, there's fears between getting lost in VR worlds, and things like Second Life, that was literally just a desktop game, and they're looking at potentially creating, and obviously gamifying things just makes sense everywhere. So if they start gamifying, which they already have, but in more of a social interaction gamification kind of way, if you can think of like Facebook VR, for instance, obviously they have that as a tool to share your virtual reality videos, but imagine having sort of like a virtual social space where you could go and sit with friends who are obviously across the other side of the world or something like that, and I think that's where it both has its amazing sort of abilities, but at the same time also has that scare factor of people getting lost, and yeah, potentially having people being lost within a virtual world, if you will. And it does sound silly, but again, whoever I speak to, that's generally the one fear. But again, just like the internet, it just needs to be vetted. It needs to be, the internet still has its problems and issues. And just like every new technology, I still think problems will come and they'll follow suit. But yeah, no, it's an interesting question. I'll look back at this video in 5 years' time and do an update maybe.
Yeah, or VR.
So AR or VR? This is a tough one because again, it depends on the application. AR for education is really amazing. especially for those who are potentially quite rurally based and, you know, potentially can't go to big museums like we have in London, or New York, or any of those big cities around the world. And all of a sudden you can have a QR code on a piece of paper that you can point your phone at, and all of a sudden you know that comes to life, or you know the environment around you has things within it that you know you would never come in contact with. Fair enough, they are as it is augmented, but it still gives you that further insight, gives you that visual kind of idea, and it's more so than just looking at it on a desktop, because all of a sudden it feels like it's right in front of you. It feels like you can reach out. For instance, if you're looking at a dinosaur exhibition, you can reach out and touch, like T-Rex bone or something like that. And obviously with things like sensory technology, like wearing gloves and full, you know, virtual bodysuits, that will potentially be the next thing. You know, I've obviously just spoke about where will VR and things like this be in 5 years' time. You know, it could be as crazy as that. You know, not only being fully visually and audibly immersed, but physically immersed as well. So having these like sensory suits, which again are out there today, but having them at consumer grade, you know, where you can just go to, I was going to say Macklins, but it's probably a bit of a sort of subject, but you can go to a store and potentially just buy, like, you know, main pointed stickers that have little chips in them with, you know, Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or whatever, and connect to your headset and connect to each individual experience. And again, that obviously then makes gamification that more intense, because a lot of the games you play are fake life. So it starts getting into a bit of a movie script here, where you know if you die in the virtual world, you die in the real world kind of thing, a bit Matrix-esque. But yeah, I don't think there is a question as to whether you do AR or VR as a whole. I think they both have amazing abilities and capabilities. And I think they'll both go really, really far and be used in the near future and the future. So again, I am waiting with much patience to see as to what that alludes to and what comes out of that. So I'm coming up to the 20-minute mark now, guys. I'm actually going to sign off here. I hope what I've spoken about today has maybe piqued some interest. Again, if you feel the need, please comment down below, share this video with everyone that you feel may or may not be interested, and I will be back next week to do the same thing. Take care, guys. Bye.